They're not water tanks. They house 2,000 fluorescent lights. Now, what in God's creation do you need 2,000 fluorescent lights up top? Well, if you were next door to the tallest building in Chicago, how would you be noticed? Trust me, if you're coming in from the western suburbs or from O'Hare Airport, you will see that building at night. You know, it looks like a water tank. It sticks out. Now, the lobby is no less significant. You go into the lobby of that building, 333 South Wacker, it is 89 feet high, 5 stories high. And in the lobby of that building are palm trees that are 80 feet high. How in the world do you have palm trees indoors? They are petrified palm trees. So it's a really impressive lobby to walk into. Now, if you cast an eye, people on the left may have a little hard time. You'll see it a little closer. There's a beige building with a green slanted kind of Renaissance roof on top. This is the main block review. It'll be coming into view. That building is, believe it or not, a postmodern building. One of the main differences when you say modern or postmodern, in a Mies building, all the windows were exactly the same size and dimension. Postmodern is mixtures of different window sizes and styles. Some do to just design, some do the fact that they're going to get more sun on one side of the building than the other, so they use different size windows. But it was designed by an international modern architect from New York City by the name of Philip Johnson, who designed this when he was 90 years old, the only building he designed in Chicago. And the building's address is 190 South LaSalle. So why put that green Renaissance roof on a modern or postmodern building? Well, on that site previously had been a Masonic temple designed by Daniel Barney, which had that kind of roof. So once again, one architect is paying recognition to the other. Now, to the right of that, I think most of you can see it, there's a limestone building with a pyramid roof and a statue on the top. Pyramid roof was another element of Art Deco. Remember, a lot of the Art Deco elements came starting in the early 1900s from the rediscovery, the re-awareness of the pyramids in Egypt and artifacts and so forth. So pyramid roofs you'll see on many buildings. That building with the statue on the top is at the base of LaSalle Street, the main financial center of the Midwest. And the third significant event of 1848 was the establishment there of the Board of Trade. This is the fourth Board of Trade building on that site. And the Board of Trade, for the first time, provided farmers with security of futures in terms of prices for their crops, which were then primarily wheat and corn. The statue on the top is a 58-foot high statue of the Roman goddess Ceres, C-E-R-E-S, from which the word cereal is derived. Now, in 1930, this was the tallest building in Chicago. So I don't know whether the sculptor thought that there would never be another taller building, but it's very Art Deco-like in that if you're looking at that up close, it has no identifiable eyes, nose, and mouth line. And so, but that's what it stands for. Now, let me go back to the Sears Tower. Here the board of Sears sat down with the principals of Skidmore, Owens & Merrill, Dr. Bruce Graham, the chief architect, and Dr. Fazlur Khan of Bangladesh, who was the chief engineer. And he said, look, we don't have a big piece of property here, but there are going to be 25,000 people working in this building, and at least that many in and out of this building every day. I do not want X braces on my building knife. The little one I showed you, if you walk up North Michigan Avenue, John Hancock, he didn't like that. And they designed them, so he didn't like that stuff. And he said, basically, you guys figure it out. And so reputedly, the two gentlemen, both heavy smokers, were having coffee and trying to figure this out. Wait till we get out. And reputedly, went up and banged his pack of cigarettes and they kind of popped up. And he said, this is how we're going to build this building. We're going to start at the bottom with 9 75-foot squares. Where the corners come together, we're going to have the mechanicals, the plumbing, the engineering stuff, so we use less steel. And at the 50th floor, the 66th floor, and the 90th floor, we're dropping off sections. So at the top, only 2 remain. Now, I'm not an engineer and I'm not an architect, so for me, Lego is easier to understand this building. It's a very simple building when you look at it, and it's a concept. We'll pick up after we go around to remember the Congress country. This is not how states the victory. By the way, bridge, these are repairs to these bridges. You can see how it's leaking up. Well, how does that leak go up? Just imagine a 20 horsepower motor motor activates the system and a concrete block drops down and the bridge goes up like on your elbow. The style of bridge is called turning basket, which is a French turning like seesaw. Very simple bridge. All the bridges since 1920, at 99% of them, are turning basket bridges that are the most efficient bridges and huge systems around. So, when you look at the Sears Tower, you have a close view of it. Very simple looking building. And once you look up on the top on the left hand side, you see those, almost at the top, you see those things sticking out almost like the rust in the windows. This is the newest entertainment venue. I'll tell you why. The Sears has always had the sky deck, but about 2 years ago they just added this additional attraction. And there are glass platforms that are 3 layers thick that go out, and you can go out and stand on this glass platform and look down 100 floors for the braver people around. I can see some people say yes, and some people say no. It can be quite scary. Now, once you look in front of you and you see this white building, one section is lower than the other. Believe it or not, that building is actually 2 triangles joined at the hypotenuse alongside. This is Harry Reese using triangular shapes once again. When you get closer, if you look from the 3rd to the 5th floor, you see the columns are actually turned at a 45-degree angle for the same reason.